this is Ricardo Lara. I'm the state senator for the 33rd District, and I'm proud to be the first openly gay person of color in the California State Senate. You know, I guess like everybody else, your individual coming out story is a little complicated. I knew at a very young age that I was different, and I knew, in elementary school, I'm like, why am I more attracted to boys than to girls? And when all my friends in elementary school were trying to find a girlfriend or trying to be cool and trying to hang out with girls, I didn't feel compelled to do that, and so I always felt a little different. And I didn't think of it as a bad thing until I was in catechism and I was talking to other students, and they said that gay people were going to go to hell, and so that's like the beginning of me trying to figure out why was I different, why was I attracted to boys at a young age. And so it became like something that was very shameful for me in the beginning. And then more importantly, I just kept on asking why, like why me, why am I different? But something in me also said that I was meant to do something great. I wanted to. This was given to me for a reason, and who I am and who was I attracted to was something that was going to play a bigger role later in life. Our home was a place where all the relatives would come, and when you would cross the border, you would come stay at my house, and then you would stay on for months or a year and then move on and go to another part of the country. And so we were kind of that safe house, but that also came with, the good part is you get to see a lot of family when you're, having them here in LA, but that also was very dangerous for, folks that can prey on children. And I didn't know, what was going on, but people, people say, oh, you're gay because you were molested. No, I think you were molested because you're a target, and maybe because I was effeminate, or maybe because I was, different. I was seen as easy prey, and so I had a family member who started abusing me sexually, and that just added to me questioning who I was. Why was this happening to me in my own home? I felt like I was a prisoner, and I was pretty much an insomniac during my junior high, high school transition, because I was trying to understand why this was happening to me, and why me. And I don't know if it was a coping mechanism, but I talked about into myself. I would say, like, well, you have something people want. You have this energy, this light that attracts people, and so maybe they're trying to extinguish that. And I don't know. I mean, and I always talk about this because I don't know if this was a way for me to cope with all the stuff that was going on around me, trying to figure out who I was, trying to get through school in junior high. I think the integration of people of color and in the LGBT movement is critical. It's critical on two fronts. One, politically, we see that as this state continues to change and continue to be one of the most diverse states in the country, as we continue to push for full equality, it cannot happen without the support of people of color. And so just politically, both movements, and the LGBT movement in particular, need people of color. And for us, as Latinos, as gay people of color, we need to integrate ourselves in that mainstream movement as well, because we need to have a voice in that movement. And we need to take that. Nobody's gonna represent us. Nobody's gonna tell us what we need in our community unless we do it on our own. We didn't want a novela to determine what we look like and how we should act. We wanted to come out and talk to our community about who we are. We're your son, we're your tío, we're your grandson. And being gay is just part of who we are. But we wanted to have that conversation in Espanol. We wanted to talk in our terms, in our communities. And many of us are moving back to our communities. I mean, we're in Linwood, California right now, part of my district. And I'm so honored to represent a community that's so diverse and a district that's so diverse. We don't have a gay majority here, but they have a gay senator. That's their voice and their champion in Sacramento. An advice to somebody who's just coming out or is thinking of coming out, I think first and foremost, you have to take your time. You have to decide on your own, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It is your life, it is your decision, and it's your own experience. So don't let anybody persuade you otherwise. I've had friends who are like, oh, but you need to come out. For me as an adult and an elected official, I always have to come out. it's a never-ending process, and can sometimes be exhausting. But I think there's gonna come a time in the near future where you're no longer gonna have to come out every time you meet somebody. But I'll tell you, you're gonna reach a point in your life, and I don't know when it happens, but for anybody else, but when it does, when you finally get to that kind of nirvana where you love yourself, you're proud of your accomplishments, you feel good, and you fully embrace who you are, and I always say you're gonna be unstoppable. It's gonna get to